everyone. Let's solve this question together. Now look at what we are given. Now we know that x to the power of x plus y is equals to what? Y to the power of 12. We are not wrong if we call this what? Equation 1. We are not wrong, okay? And y to the power of what? X plus y is equals to what? X to the power of 3. We are not also wrong if we decide to call this equation what? 2. Now we are asked to look for the value of x and y. Now this question is very simple as A, B, C, D. Okay? Our first step, what you're going to do, let's observe this question carefully. You can see that the exponent here is x plus y, and the exponent here is x plus y. So we are not wrong. If we call this equation what? Equation 1, I will call this what? Equation what? Equation 2. We are not wrong in any way. Okay? So you can see that the exponent in equation 1 here is what? X plus y, and the exponent in equation 2, our left hand side is what? X plus what? Y. So we are not wrong if we say let, because they are common, let x plus y be equals to what? Any variable. Okay? Let it be equals to what? Equals to what? P. Okay? That's amazing. Now we can call this what? Equation what? Equation 3. Okay, because if x plus y is equals to p, it's a new equation you have gotten. Okay, now let's go back to equation 1. So it now become what? X to the power of what? P in place of what? X plus y equals to what? Y to the power of what? 12. Don't forget that this is still our what? This is still our equation what? Equation 1. Don't forget, okay? Then here I'm going to have y to the power of p, okay, equals to x to the power of what? 3. And this is still our equation what? Equation 2. Alright. Okay, now what are we going to do here? Now from equation 1 and equation 2, we're going to do something very interesting and amazing. Okay, now, but if p is here and p is here, can we still call this equation 1 and equation 2? Because something have changed. Here was x plus y, but here is p. So we cannot call this equation 1 or call this equation 2. So we can call this equation 4. Okay, because it's a new equation, equation 4. I can also call this equation what? 5. Why are we doing that? Take note that from equation 1, we are just having a direct of x to the power of x plus y equals to this. But here you represent it by what? P. So we cannot say that they are the same. Okay, they are not the same. It's a new equation we are getting. Okay. Now at this point, let's consider equation 4, which is this. Equation 4 is x to the power of what? X to the power of p. Okay. X to the power of p, okay, equals to what? Y to the power of what? 12. Equation 4. Now let's take link of both sides, the natural logarithm of both sides from here. So that means link x to the power of p is equals to link what? Link y to the power of what? 12. Now we know one of the properties of logarithm, that this power you are seeing here can also go back to multiply the link. So this now becomes what? P multiplied by link s is equals to link, 12 multiplied by what? Link what? Link y. Okay, because we are obeying one of the properties of what? Logarithm. Now I want to make 12 the subject of the formula from this equation 4. So what I have to do is to divide both sides by link y. So if I divide here by link y, okay, also divide the whole of this by what? Link y. Okay, now this will cancel out this. So now see that p, okay, p link s, okay, divided by what? Divided by link y, okay, is equals to what? 12. Wow, it's amazing. It's pocket genius, right? All right, now let's go back to equation 5. We know that from equation 5 that y to the power of p is equals to x to the power of what? 3. Right? Also take link, so link y of p equals to link s to the power of what? 3. Obeying the properties of logarithm, this power can also go back to become what? P link what? Link y is equals to 3 link what? X. Okay, now I want to make 3 the subject of the formula, okay, because 3 is constant. So I have to divide both sides by link x. So if I divide here by link x, also divide here by what? Link what? Link x. Now this will cancel out this, so I'm left with what? P link what? Y divided by link x is equals to what? Wow, this is amazing. Okay, now I can call this what? Equation what? I can call this equation 6. Also call this what? Equation what? Equation 7. Wow, this is pocket genius, right? I love this. Now let's consider our equation 6 and equation 7. Equation 6 is what? Is P ln what? Ln x divided by what? Ln y, okay? Is equals to what? 12, which is equation what? Equation 6, okay? And our equation 7 is what? P is equals to P ln what? Ln y, okay? Divided by ln x, okay? Is equals to what? 3. Is equation what? 7. This is what we are going to consider. Now what we are going to do, we are going to multiply equation 7 with equation 6, or either we multiply equation 6 by equation 7. That's what we are going to do. So let's do that quickly. So I'm going to add this is what? Into P ln x, okay, then divided by ln y, okay, multiply by what? Equation 7, which is what? P ln y, okay, divided by what? Ln what? Ln x, okay, equals to what? Now multiplying this by this, we have 12 multiplied by what? 3, because we are multiplying equation 6 by equation what? 7, okay. Now consider that this will cancel out this. Let's observe carefully. And this will cancel out this, right? So we are left with what? We are left with into P into again P equals to what? 36. Because of what? Because 12 times 3 is 36. P plus P times P is what? Is P square. We have here as P square equals to what? 30 what? 6. Now let's take square root of both sides. So we can have the value of P. Take square root of here, also take square root of here. Square cancel out square. We are seeing that P is equals to plus minus what? 6. This implies that P is equals to 6, or P is equals to minus what? 6. Wow, this is amazing. But remember, we are not asked to solve for what? P. We are asked that what is the value of x and y. Now let's go back to equation 3. We know that from equation 3 that x plus y is equals to what? P from what equation? What equation 3, right? Wow. Now we're going that our P is 6. So let's solve when P is 6. Okay. So now, do you know why we are going to consider the positive side, the positive integer instead of the negative integers? Because we believe that if you follow the positive integers, you can actually have the values of x. Okay. But if you follow the negative, you must give us an answer that will not satisfy this equation. Let's follow the negative aspect of it. Okay. So let's see when P is 6, which is the positive integers, right? So see that x, okay, x plus y is equals to what? 6. But what are we going to do here? If x plus y is equals to 6, how can we determine the value of x and y? Now let's go back to equation 5. This question 5. Now let's go back to equation what? From where? Question 5, right? Let's go back to equation 5, yeah, where we take link of both sides. We know that from equation 5, we take link of both sides. We have that P, okay, P link x, okay, is equals to 12 link what? Link y. Okay? We know that, look at what happened here. Are you seeing? From equation 5, right? From equation 4, sorry, from equation 4. This is what happened from equation 4. This is what, well, by taking the link of both sides, this is where we arrive, right? Now, we are going that the value of P is 6 or minus 6. Let's concentrate on the positive integers, please. Because we believe that concentrating on the positive integers, we must have a positive answer. We concentrate on the negative answer, we must have answer that will not be satisfied. Okay? Let's consider when P is 6 first. If you consider it and it gives us the actual answer, the value that satisfies, then we are good. That when P is equals to 6, satisfy this equation. Now from here, we know that our P is 6. Are you seeing P here? Put your 6 here. So this is 6 because P is 6 link what? Link S equals to 12 link what? Link Y, right? Now, what are we going to do? Now, what are we going to divide both sides by 6, okay? So divide here by 6 and divide here by what? 6, right? So let me remove this from here quickly. So I'm not going to remove from, I want to remove from here, okay? All right, let me remove from here so I know what you are doing. Our target is to find x and y, right? So this will cancel out this, right? So we are left with what? We are left with link s, okay, equals to 12 divided by 6 will give us what? 2. So I have just 2 link what? Link y. Now don't forget that this power can also go back to become the exponents here. So see that link s is equals to link what? Link y square. Now by comparing the left hand side with the right hand side, pay attention please. Here is x and here is y square. So consider that s is equals to y square. Okay? Wow, it's amazing. You can call this equation what? Equation what? Call this equation what? Equation 8. Okay? That's proper criterions. Now let's go back here. We know that from equation 3 that x plus y is equals to what? 6, right? As you can see here. But we're getting that our x is y square. Anywhere I see s, put y square. So this is y square plus y equals to what? 6. Now let's subtract 6 from both sides so that I can have a very beautiful form of quadratic what? Equation. So this is y square, okay, plus y minus 6 equals to what? 0. Now this is a beautiful form of what? Quadratic what? Equation. So what are we going to do? Now what is quadratic equation? Now quadratic equation is an equation written in the form of ax squared plus bs plus c equals to what? 0, where a, b and c are constant, and also has the highest power of the unknown, which is what? 2, right? Now at this point we are going to take note that quadratic equation have what? Have 4 ways of solving: 1 by factorization method, 2 by graphical method, and 3 by formula method, and 4 by computing the square. Let's solve this by using what? Factorization method. So we have what? We have y square, okay, plus y minus 6 equals to what? 0. Let's determine the value of y. Now, we know that the constant term here is minus 6, right? So, and the coefficient of y square is 1. So, let's consider 6 itself. Okay, what are factors of 6? If 6 is a minus 6 is constant, let's ignore this minus and work on the 6, okay? Now, let's see what are factors, okay? Now, factors are those numbers that can be divisible by 6 without remainder. Factors are those numbers that can divide 6 without remainder. 1 is a factor of 6, 2 is a factor of 6, 3 is a factor of 6, and even 6 itself is also a factor of itself. So 6 is a factor of itself. Now these are called the factors of 6. Why? They are called factors because these numbers can divide exactly without any what? Remainder. From here, let's pick two numbers. Since you are solving it by factorization method, let's pick two numbers or two factors. If you multiply them, we have minus 6, which is a constant term. If you add them or subtract them, we have 1, because the coefficient of y here is what? 1. No wasting of time. Look at this number carefully. You see that 3 minus 2 is 1, and 3 multiplied by minus 2 is minus 6. We are good to go. So the two factors are 3 and what? Minus what? 2. Wow, this is pocket genius, right? So we can remove this from here quickly and go to a question. So this now become what? Y square, okay, then plus what? 3y, okay, minus 2y minus 6 equals to what? 0. 3y minus 2y will give us y. Then minus 2y minus 3y times minus 2y equals what? Minus 6y squared, because minus 6 times y squared equals what? Minus 6y squared. Okay. Now what is common here? Y is common. We bring out y into y squared divided by y will give us y. 3y divided by y will give us plus what? 3. Now what is common here? Minus 2 is common into minus 2y divided by minus 2 give us what? Y, right? Divide this by 0, what? Plus what? 3. Everything is equals to what? 0. From here we can see that something is common. What is common? Into y plus 3 is common, as you can see. Then into, if you divide the whole of this by this, we have y. If you divide the whole of this by this, we have minus 2. Everything is equals to what? 0. Now take note, when the product of 2 times is equals to 0, it means that you can see that both of them are equals to 0, or individually they are equals to what? 0. So you can see that y plus 3 is equals to 0, or y minus 2 is equals to what? 0. Let's subtract 3 from both sides. So y is equals to minus 3, which is one of the value of y, or y is equals to what? 2. Now take note that we know that p was equals to what? 6, or p is equals to what? Minus what? 6. And we were working what? We are working with what? The positive integers of p of this variable. So since we are going that our y is what? Minus 3, or y is what? 2. We are also going to work with the positive what? Integers. Okay. Take note that integers contain what? Both negative and what? Positive. But here we are going to consider the word positive one, because we know that positive one will not give us an error, it give us a definite what? Answer. So let's see when our y is what? 2. Take note that from equation 3 we know that x plus y is equals to what? P. Let's work when p is 6, and we see that x plus y is equals to what? 6. Now we are getting that our y is what? Is 2. So now going to add that x plus 2 is equals to what? 6. So if we subtract 2 from both sides, we're going to add this is what? S is equal to 6 minus what? 2. And 6 minus 2 is 4. So our x is equals to what? 4. Therefore, x is equals to 4 and y is equals to what? 2. These are the value of x and y that satisfy this equation, right? But the question to ask is that, what if when y p is equals to minus 3? The video is almost longing, okay? I'm interested of finding when p is minus 6, but you can do it by yourself. But let me tell you what you will do. If you are using when p is minus 6, try to use when p and y is minus 3. But let's do something very interesting. But we know these are the values that satisfy this equation, right? Let's do something very interesting. Now let's see. If p is minus 3, let's put our minus 3 here. So now this is x plus y is equals to minus what? 6, right? So that means x plus into minus what? Minus 3 is equals to minus what? 6. Minus plus times minus will give us x minus 3 equals to what? Minus what? 6. Now if we add 3 to both sides, okay, you see that x is equals to minus 6 plus what? 3. And minus 6 plus to give us s equals to what? Minus what? 3. This is the value of x. Okay, so what is the value of y? Now for us to have the value of y, we know that x plus y, we know that our s is what? Our y is minus 3. So s is y equals to what? Minus what? 3. Now if you are going to substitute this here, let's see what we can have. Now if x, this is minus 3, so you have this is minus 3. Okay, if s is minus 3, then we know that x plus y is what? Is 6, right? It's minus 6, right? It's minus 6. Let's take it as p as minus 6. So it's minus 6. I want to simplify this. Let's see y is also here and y is minus. So yeah, this is also minus 3 to the power of what? 12. I'm trying to check. Now this will give us what? 1 divided by into minus 3 to the power of what? Minus 3 to the power of 6, right? But this now is not equal to this, you see. So that's why if you're solving some question, okay, that are so dangerous, what you have to consider the positive integers first. You see, we'll consider the negative integers is not give us a definite what? Answer. But I believe that if you're working with the positive integers where p is equal to 6, also work with in positive integer where y is equal to 2, you arrive at our answer that s equals to 4 and y equals to what? 2. If I'm lying, these are the values that satisfy this equation. Let's check something very interesting. If x is 4 and here is 4, we see that 4 to the power of 6 because x plus y is what? Is 6, right? Is equals to, and y is what? Y is what? 2, and 2 to the power of what? 12. Now you can see that. Let's simplify something very interesting to have this. Let's see. I can put this as 2 to the power of 2 into 2 into 6 equals to what? 2 to the power of what? 12. Now I see that 2 times 6 will give us 12. So 2 to the power of 12 is equals to 2 to the power of 12. You can see that it's satisfied. It's amazing, right? Satisfy. So we can see that when s is equals to 4 and y is equals to 2 is the beautiful solution to this particular problem. Can you see how simple and interesting it is? So thank you so much for watching. I know you'll be wondering, what about equation 2? We can also do it, and we also have. Now y is what? Y is what? Y is 2. So you have 2 to the power of what? 6 equals to what? X is what? X is 4. 4 to the power of what? 3. Now do you know I can do something very amazing here? What will I do to make this equal? Okay, I can write this as 2 to the power of what? 2 all to the power of what? 3, right? Because 2 to the power of 2 times 3 will give us 6 equals to 4 to the power of what? 3. Now 2 to the power of 2 is what? Is 4 to the power of what? 3 equals to 4 to the power of 3. And they are equal. So there's no doubt they are equal. So these are the values of x and y. Okay, so this is what you have to take note when solving some questions that have to do with what? Tough what? Olympic maths. Have to take note of this. Whenever you're solving a question, you know that question is very technical. Okay, that will take a long way to go. Please take this advice. Always follow the positive integers. The values you have, just follow the positive integers. Ignore the negative integer, because the negative integer can land you for what you are not expecting. Okay, so you can see what happened in this video, right? If you know you really find it very interesting, don't hesitate to like, comment, and share to your loved ones so others will learn from it. And if today is your first time coming across this channel, kindly subscribe to this channel so you don't know the